Hello and welcome to Paper Tuesdays with Michael Dwyer and Mark Halpin. Michael, would you like to introduce our guest today?
Yeah, this is a great one. This is Colm Doolan of the Sober Mess podcast. Yup. How are you, Colm?
How are you, lads? How are you getting on?
Oh, fantastic. It's great that you actually suggested that we record this morning because, you know, it feels great recording at 8:30 in the morning. But of course, this isn't early for you, Colm. You were up at 6:30 at the 40 foot. Tell us, why do you love the 40 foot?
Yeah, but I'll tell you, I'm down to 40 foot for a fair bit now. They're going to start charging me rent. I'm down there more than the sea is. No, thanks for having me on, lads. Really appreciate it. And yeah, I seen the message Paper Tuesdays, and the first thing I thought it was like an arts and crafts podcast. I was thinking about starting my own. I was going to call it Mala Monday.
We may start that one as well.
I love it. Where did you get the name from?
Well, that's a good one, actually, Colm. So when I was in secondary school, I used to get the Guardian, the Gory Guardian, as you know. That was probably your favourite newspaper growing up. And I take Snapchats from it, and I call it Paper Tuesdays. And then when we started this podcast, then we thought this would be the revival of Paper Tuesdays. And only a few weeks ago, Colm, we were in the Gory Guardian. So there you are now.
There you go now, Jesus.
So
now you are?
Yeah, so you were in Galway Community School for 2 years. So how come you were down here?
So what it was, I remember when I was about 30, I think it was about 10, and my mom actually left Dublin and moved down. And I remember when I was leaving first, I was like, oh, I really miss my friends and all, and if I move, and my mum was saying, oh, don't worry, Colm, you'll make loads of new friends down here in Wexford. So my mum moved into a place called Killarney. And we started in a school in Ballygarrett in the middle of nowhere. I don't know if you know this place. So I check into the school and out in the yard, and all the kids, I thought they'd think I'm cool. Like, they all started slagging me because I'm from Dublin. They're like, oh, I bet you rob cars and you do heroin. And I'm like, oh, because they're from Dublin. And I'm like, I'm only 10 years old, like, you know what I mean? And I remember that I was going, right, I can't wait to go back up to Dublin. I remember the first weekend after being in Wexford for the week, going back up to Dublin to see my friends. And I go back up, and then the lads started slagging me, going, oh, here's the culture now, here's the bugger. So everywhere they went, I belonged nowhere, like, you know what I mean? It was gas. So yeah, I ended up so then I ended up moving school down to Ballycanoe. And then I went to Gordy, and I think I was on the hop in Gordy more than I was in the class. I think who was Mr. Sweetman was the principal at the time, and I was in his office all the time. Like, you know, I seen him more than I seen me ma.
Well, there's a good one now, because I went to school in Ballygarrett, and my mother could have taught you, so you never know, really.
Your mom?
Yeah, my mom taught there, teaches there even. Sorry,
really?
Yeah,
there you go.
No. Yeah.
How did you find having your mom as a teacher? Did you get did you get easy homework and stuff like that?
No, it was you got the same treatment, you got the same level of notes and everything,
Really? Yeah, Jesus. No way. So you were, for Christmas, you were getting a maths book and a load of rulers and all every year.
You've discussed before in the podcast, Colm, that you kind of have only kind of found your own. Well, sure, you use the same expression that you went to Asia and you found yourself. Like, you know, that you're really coming into your own in the last year or so. Would that be fair to say?
Yeah, look, it's like I was working in a fairly, like I started off, like I as you know, like I would have got sober, I would have kind of suffered with mental health, and then through as a resource, as I suppose as a solution for my mental health, I turned to alcohol, and would have developed like a heavy enough drinking problem at quite a young age, like, you know. And and then anything, like I just had an addictive personality. It didn't matter if it's drink, drugs, or figure rolls, you know what I mean? Whatever I could use as a kind of escape from my mental health, I used. And when I got sober, then I went back to college and didn't have leaving cert. I went back as a mature student. I done sports science in UCD, and then going on, then I actually got a job in IT, and really big company, got a job in IT, and worked my way up through the ranks, you know, and so I had a really good job, you know, really good wage, and I just found it, you know, near the end, you know, really stressful. You know, it was a really stressful job, and it was kind of just hitting me mental health quite a lot, you know. I mean, I remember before going into work, like, I nearly having panic attacks sort of going in the door, like, you know, and then, you know, I was on the fence whether to leave or not. I didn't know what to do, and I was kind of at a crossroads. And then one day I just said, "Feck it," you know, I handed me notice, and they ended up handing me notice and booking a trip out to Thailand. And I went to Thailand for 3 months. I went to Thailand, Cambodia, Vietnam, and then Bali, and then like all the Corona malarkey kicked off then last April, and I came home, and I would have kept traveling like, but my mum was on the phone with me, and I don't know if your mums are like this, but my mum would ring you every week and give you the update of RIP.ie, like, you know what I mean? She'd tell you everyone that like, if there was a World Cup for negativity, like, my mum probably win it, like, you know, but you know, so she'd be ringing me, telling me all the updates from RT. You need to come home, this is going on, and so I ended up coming home early, and yeah, it was just, I felt like that typical cliche starter pack, you know. I had like the baggy pants, all the beads on my hands, you know, the Buddhas, you know, the dream catchers, you know. I was on this vibe when I got home, so I wanted to kind of go exploring that. So I decided to go back to college, study psychology, and try and be kind of, I don't know, try and use my own experience to kind of, you know, tell people, look, it's all right to fucking, you know, if you're struggling with your mental health, you're going through hard times, or, you know, everything's on your mom, but nothing lasts, like, you know what I mean? So, yeah, that was me kind of finding myself, you know what I mean? And, but that's the thing, man, we're all on our journeys, we're all kind of doing our own things, you know what I mean? If it's Mala Monday or Paper Tuesday, you know, we're all kind of just trying to put a good message out there, you know what I mean?
That's it, Colm, that's it. You've actually, you're now volunteering for Aware, aren't you? Yeah, that's just brilliant, you know, to see that transition from someone who, you know, needed to call on their services to someone that's now actually helping people.
Yeah, but that's it, man. Like, I find the best way to cheer yourself up is to try and cheer someone else up. And, you know, before I like, with my own history, you know, as I said, like, struggling with my mental health and my addictions, you know, I'd carry this around on me, like, I judged myself for my past. But whereas now I find these things are my gifts, you know, these things are my superpower. I can use these, I suppose, to transcend my experience to the benefit of other people. Like, you know what I mean? That being able to talk to someone and resonate with someone, you know, you get this sense of belonging and a connection and a trust when you feel like, geez, this guy knows what he's talking about, you know, he's been there, you know what I mean? And I find that when I felt like that, when I was in a very dark hole, you know, when, look, I'll tell you, I remember hearing this great analogy, like, you know, there was this guy stuck
We're
down
good at the analogies. You're the best lad I've ever heard for analogies. Go on, yeah.
No, it's just a little story I remember hearing, and it kind of wraps up what I'm trying to say using my experience. Like, I remember there's a guy down a dark hole, and he can't get out of it, and this millionaire walks past. He says, "Please, mate, will you help me? Will you help me?" And he writes him a check and he throws it down, and your man's stuck down. He's still stuck down the dark hole. He has a check, and then the priest walks past. He says, "Please, Father, will you help me? Will you help me?" And the priest says the rosary for him and walks on, but he's still stuck down this hole. Then a doctor walks past. He says, "Please, will you help me?" And the doctor writes him a prescription, throws it down the hole, and he's still stuck down this hole. You know, he has a check, he has his rosary beads, and there's his prescription, but he still can't get out. And then a guy walks past and jumps down the hole beside him. And the man goes, "What you have to do, man? Now the two of us are stuck down here." He says, "Yeah, man, but I've been down here before and I can show you the way out. Follow me." You know what I mean? And sometimes that being able to walk with someone that's walked that path as well. Because when you're going through hard times, be it with depression or anxiety, you know, it can be very lonely because you think you're the only one on planet Earth that's going through it. You know, you look out the window, you see people on the way to work or on the way to school or college or wherever, and you think no one else ever suffers in the world. You think it's only you going through the struggle, you know. And then when you open up and start to talk to people, you're like, "Oh, that you do that too," or "Oh no, so do I," you know. And people start to talk about it. It's like saying, "Oh, are you wet the bed? Oh, I wet the bed too. So does John," you know. And everyone's just opening up about how they wet the bed, or everyone's opening up about how they get anxiety or depression, and you realise, well, you get a sense of belonging then. You get a sense of relief when you realise it's not just you know what I mean? And so that was my thing. When I got that, when someone was able to open up and talk to me and show me their vulnerabilities, it gave me like permission to be vulnerable, you know? And I was like, right, how can I better you know, how can I use my experience to benefit other people? So I applied for a few places I could volunteer. So I volunteer with Aware, I volunteer with Outreach Homeless, you know, and a few other places, and just being able to use my experience to benefit other people. And I find that so satisfying. A few years ago, you know, I was chasing a successful life, you know, I was chasing the money and the cars and the clothes, and, you know, I felt so lonely and I felt so empty. But the next car was going to fix that, or the next pair of runners, or the next form of external validation that I could find would fill that inner void. And I never did, man. And that led to me nearly having a breakdown on a job. And it was only when I started chasing that satisfied life, you know, doing stuff that, you know, lights my soul on fire, you know, and, you know, gives me such a buzz of being getting up for the sunrise, going for the swim, you know, connecting with nature, going for hikes, you know, doing all these things, the creativity, you know, all these things that just make me feel satisfied, you know what I mean? And that's my endeavor today, is just to chase that satisfied life. Like, ask yourself what genuinely gives you a sense of joy. Are you doing something just because you want people to think you're cool, or people to think you're deadly? Are you doing it because it makes you happy and you genuinely like it? And that's what I was. But as I said, when I was younger, you know, I used to always morph into all these different characters. It was like the chameleon, you know, the lizard that changed colours. I was like that as a kid because I didn't feel like I fitted in anywhere. So I got really good at, if I wear this football jersey, or if I walk like this, or if I talk like this, or if I listen to this music. You know, I had 2 Spotify playlists. So I had a playlist that I liked, and I had a playlist that I played when the lads were around, so they think I'm cool, like, you know what I mean? So I was always trying to impress the people around me. And it wasn't until I got older and I actually said, geez, I actually like sunrises, or getting in the sea, or nature, or listening to music, like, you know what I mean? And so that was the crack when I started to find what makes me satisfied, rather than what I think you want me to be, or what I think you want me to be successful, you know what I mean? And that's when I suppose I started to define myself, you know what I mean?
Mm.
So if you like listening to Spice Girls, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Don't mind what the lads say.
Yeah.
You'll be a big believer in that, Mark.
Yeah, it's good music. Spice Girls, Britney Spears, Christina, all that.
Oh, that was beautiful, Colm. Just, you know, you're a natural social worker. Like, I know it's a 4-year course there, but like you're a natural people person, and I hope that you continue to draw on that experience. Every podcast you do, Colm, you kind of say at the end, I hope you have a gentle day. And it's kind of unusual. Why do you think gentleness is so important for our everyday lives?
Man, because just to be gentle and kind to yourself, you know what I mean? Because I think we have this very vicious perfectionism, high achieving inner critic, you know, that no matter what we do, it's not good enough. But if you've done it, it's exceptional. And we can't internalize that. We can't be kind to ourselves. You know, we're always that inner critic that follows us around and says, what you're doing isn't good enough, what you're wearing looks crap, you know, the way you look is ridiculous, you know, and we have this inner voice. And to be able to kind of change, be able to be kinder to ourselves and gentler to ourselves, you know, talk to yourself like you talk to a baby, or treat yourself like you treat a puppy, like, you know what I mean? And it's that thing that, like, I suffered from perfectionism for years, you know, and it stopped me from doing, like, creativity. Even the podcast, I was terrified to put out the podcast because, geez, what people think. I know that bit's terrible. I sound like an idiot. I hate my voice, you know, and all this inner critics that I had, like, you know what I mean? And when I just leaned into that fear and done it anyway, and learned to be more gentler with myself rather than listening to that inner voice, you know, with that inner voice, and I have to remember that it's only a voice, you know what I mean? Not to give that voice the microphone, not to let that voice run the show, you know what I mean? And to lean into that fear. And having courage isn't about not feeling fear or feeling self-doubt. Having courage is feeling fear and feeling self-doubt and doing it anyway. And the more that we expose ourselves to this fear, or expose ourselves to whatever it is that's holding us back, the braver we get. And it's like a muscle. It's like an emotional muscle. The more that you're terrified of getting into the sea, and then you get in and you're like, oh, Jesus, oh. And it's like, oh, you know, it's not that bad, actually. And you get out, and then tomorrow, you're like, oh, no, I have the experience from today that I got in. I didn't die. It was uncomfortable, but I didn't die. So I'll use that experience tomorrow to say, look, I'll do it. I'll be okay. Because a lot of times when we're afraid, we can think our way out of stuff until we actually try it. So, like, my thing is, like, to be gentle with yourself, to be kind to ourselves and not listen to that inner critic, and not listening to that inner, I suppose, negative dialogue. And some days when we're feeling low, that inner dialogue can be a lot louder, can be shouting at you. But I always try and give him like a German accent, so I know when he's only the critic, and nothing against the Germans, they're a nice bunch of people, but you know, just not to, you know, every time I listen to that, you know, I'll be the type of lad to go out and score a hat trick, and I beat myself up over one shot to hit the post, like, you know what I mean? Or if we done this amazing thing, I'll be whipping myself over the minusculest little thing, like, you know what I mean? And if other people done it, I'd be overwhelmed with amazement, like, wow, well done. But to go inward and start to praise yourself and start to be our own cheerleader, that's the hardest thing, man. That's the journey I was on my whole life. I went on this big mad journey trying to get everyone else to like, trying to get everyone else to approve me. Please, God, just accept me and approve me and validate me. I'll do anything you want, just fucking like me, you know what I mean? And now I'm on this journey now where I'm just coming to like myself. I'm going from here to here, making that journey from my head to my heart, you know what I mean? Where I don't need to make sure you like me. It's about me trying to like myself, and people will come to appreciate you as you're on that journey, you know what I mean?
People actually like you more if you like yourself more. If you're trying too hard to get other people's approval, you won't get it. Then when you actually start to like yourself more, people will like you because you like yourself, and that reflects outwards.
Yeah, 100%, man. Like, and what people, you don't know the amount of people that are admiring people that are doing the brave things. Like, the lads are looking at you guys with envy, going, "Wow, look at them lads, like just doing their thing, getting up, doing a podcast." You know what I mean? Having the crack, having the laugh, seeing the fun side of life. And you don't know the amount of people you're inspiring just by doing you, just by doing your thing. And like I say, when you first started this podcast, just parties going out here, will we? Maybe not, you know, and all that self doubt. But you overcame and done it anyway. And now people are looking at you guys like going, wow, and being inspired. And a lot of people won't open up and tell you that to your face. But I guarantee there's so many people that are inspired by what you're doing, like, you know what I mean?
Thank you very much, Colm.
Keep doing it, lads.
I can't help but think that that's a beautiful link then to what you do every day. So you open up like a flower after your post run with this positive message, and you just like, it's kind of like the other side to the gentleness for me anyway, Colm, because there's a sort of conviction about you when you've done your run, you've gone through that whatever it is, 5k, 10k, and you're just laying it out straight to people, like, you know, how it's to be, how you're meant to, you know, just embrace yourself and be positive, you know. So what do you think? What I'm trying to get at is, other people have that runner's high and they just keep it to yourselves, but you go on Instagram straight away on your story and you just share a little simple message to for someone to help them on their day. Why is that?
Because when I run, like when you talk to anyone that's creative, everyone's creative, you know, and you talk to people that I suppose make a living out of creativity, and they're always talking about like, where does their creative flow come from? Where do they get their best ideas? Where does it happen? For me, it's when I'm running. You know, when I'm running, I'm just in this flow state. Running for me is like my therapy. It's like my medicine. And when I get in, suppose after the first kilometer, I just get into this flow state and have all these mad thoughts and philosophies just going through my head, like, you know what I mean? And my thing is that, like, you putting your creativity out there, like, again, with you guys starting this podcast, when you get all this creativity and you're keeping it to yourself, you know, it's really selfish. You know, you don't know how many people you might help just by putting your message out. And a lot of time, the only thing stopping people from putting their creativity out is their own inner critic and their own self-doubt. You know what I mean? So if you were to put out a positive message that might improve someone's day today and like have a tiny ripple effect on the world, isn't that a phenomenon? Isn't that incredible that you can use something that your own creativity to put maybe possibly improve, you know, the standard of someone's day, or improve someone's mood, or give someone a little bit of inspiration, like, you know what I mean? And that was my thing with creativity, you know what I mean? That I was terrified to put out my creativity because I was terrified it wouldn't be good enough, or I was terrified it would be rejected, you know. But being able to put out a message, why that comes to me while I run, and then if someone takes it, happy days, and if not, at least I leaned into that fear. Oh, geez, I'm afraid to put out a positive message. Of course, what would people think? Then being able to lean into that and do it anyway, and then hopefully someone will get a bit of inspiration out of it, or get something out of it, like, you know.
Yeah.
I'm sure you feel healthier as well after expressing yourself, because it can be like if someone is creative and they're not expressing it, it can be like something's blocked. Do you know what I mean? And it's trying to get out, and it leads to frustration and like sickness. And you know, I know, like, say when we do stuff for, like, I may put a stupid thing on Instagram, whatever, I know that I got that out of my system, and if it makes someone laugh, it makes me feel better, you know. And I just, that's basically, I think, what you get, like, you know, after you run, if you put that out, you feel better because you've had a positive impact on the world rather than keeping it to yourself.
Yeah, 100%. And that's the thing, man. Everyone's creative. Like, every single person's creative. Like, you know what I mean? And it's just about, I suppose, not being afraid to put out your creativity, whatever it may be. It might be poetry, might be comedy, you know, it might even be like baking, it might be, you know, whatever creativity you can think of, whatever something you can do that elicits either a feeling in you or a feeling in other people. And I think the problem with vocabulary and language is that it's very limited. And when we try and put our feelings into words, it's like putting our feelings into a prison, because we can't fully articulate and express what we mean when we're trying to express our feelings. But I find the best way for me sometimes to express my feelings is through creativity, whatever it may be, you know. And the best teachers out there speak no words, be it the nature, you know, the sea, the forests, you know what I mean? We can learn so much from them, like, you know what I mean, without speaking any words at all. And yeah, so being able to kind of express your creativity it's just such a great relief in that, you know what I mean, when you put it out there. And it feels great. It feels great for you to put it out, and then if someone that connects with someone and elicits some sort of reaction, and that's what art is. Art is something that you look at and it elicits an emotion within you, a feeling within you, and it could be anything at all. But that's exactly what art is. And if you look at any song, if you look at any poem, if you look at any picture, you know, that all started in someone's head. And imagine if every song, like like if you were to listen to your favorite Spice Girls album, you know, but like what I'm trying to say, or like any great album, like imagine that went in someone's head. Imagine, say, Bono or Kurt Cobain or Jimi Hendrix or whoever, who are great people that write songs. Imagine if they got taught to write the song, and they were like, oh no, geez, the lads would think I'm an idiot if we write that song. No, I'm not going to do that. Forget about it. And they never wrote it, and it never happened. And then we'd be left here, which is what we listen to now. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying with creativity. If something comes to you, put it out there, because it may be the next best thing, like, you know what I mean? And like, never be afraid to, you know, back yourself up and endorse yourself or believe in yourself, you know, put it out there. Because there's many times I put stuff out there and I was like, oh no, and I delete it, and then a month or two down the line, why did I do it? I should have, you know what I mean? Whereas you kind of, if you were to look back at yourself and say at the time, what was he freaking out about? What's that all about? You know, but when you had it like just doing what you wanted to do, you'd feel great for it, like, you know what I mean? Because when you're like 8 years of age and you're reflecting on your life, you're not gonna be like, you're gonna be proud of yourself all the times you lean into fear. You're not gonna be saying, I can't, I'm delighted I fucking, you know, I submitted to fear and I didn't do that thing, and I stayed in a little box of comfort, and I never done any exploring or anything exciting. You know what I mean? But if you look back and say, yeah, I stepped outside of that comfort zone, you know, I done things that made me feel alive, and I potentially benefited other people, you feel so much better for that. Like, and it's like that I was saying, you know, there's no growth in the comfort zone, and there's no comfort in the growth zone.
Mm-hmm. Right, I'm starting an OnlyFans. You've convinced me, Colm. Thank you.
Do it, man. Do it.
We actually did. We started a Paper Tuesdays OnlyFans.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah, no, we haven't come up with any content yet now, but
no,
that was more of a PR stunt.
Maybe we'd be more creative with Mall on Mondays. I can see that getting more.
Yeah, or what's called
artistic.
R-rated.
Or
yeah. We can do a collab, lads. Yeah, that's cool. And so what was the background? Are you lads mates from school, or how did you just come together?
Yeah, we were friends in school. We were playing under 14 hurling with the school, was it? And both of us were useless, so we were put into the corner and we just marked each other and we talked while everyone else played hurling. So that was sort of how that friendship came about.
Yeah, that's like me. My mates, two of us made friends, was being on the subs bench all the time. That's how we bonded.
You've kind of changed sports in the last year. Like, you've gone big into running now, whereas previously you would have been boxing. Would that be right?
Yeah, I boxed for years. So I played a bit of football when I was younger, and I just love boxing. And then I was getting mad into the boxing. Then with I got into boxing. Then I was doing Muay Thai as well. And actually one of the reasons I went to Thailand was to do a Muay Thai camp. So I went over there, I was doing a Muay Thai camp and potentially doing a competition. And I was about 3 weeks into this camp, and I got back in the hostel. I got talking to this dude who was doing like a Buddhism and mindful meditation, silent retreat thing. And sorry, just someone trying to ring me there. So and I was like, like he said, he's telling me all about it. So I went there. He said, "You want to come and try it?" So I went over to this place room, ended up trying it, and had a chat with this monk. It was just really cool. Like he's like the coolest monk I ever met in my life. And I ended up doing this, doing the part of this course, and I actually ended up dropping out of the Muay Thai camp then, and just going on this big mindfulness and Buddhism journey, like, you know what I mean? And then, so I went around Thailand doing that. And then when I got home, obviously with the lockdown, a lot of the camps, a lot of like clubs and all were closed. So I got a knack for running. And in March, I went for a 5K. And I think I got like 28 minutes because everyone was like posting these ridiculous times up. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, you know, my ma got like 15 minutes or something. I'm only joking. But and it was mad, like, so I just started running, man. And then like I have an addictive personality where if I get a goal, I just get this tunnel vision where I'm like, so I started getting running, and I just got a mad buzz for it. And I loved that flow state that I was talking about, and I just got mad into chasing that flow state. And that was, and then I just got mad for that. And then, you know, done a marathon, then I raced to you, Bob, for the PA the house, and done a marathon. And hoping this someone out to do an Ironman. But yeah, it's like anything, man. Like, I always have an open mind, because I never thought I'd be into running. Like, running's boring. Like, you just keep running. Like, do you stop? You just run for 5K. Do you stop, or do you just keep going? You know what I mean? Like, and then when you actually try something, you're like, oh, this is actually dead. I actually like it. So yeah, that's my thing. I always have an open mind, and always try something, like, you know what I mean. So yeah, I got man into the running, the swimming, and doing a lot of cycling now as well. So yeah, it's going good.
Unreal, Jenny Mac. With the podcast column, like The Sober Mess, I love the title because it's kind of like you embrace both sides of it. You embrace the sobriety, but you also embrace the mess of our emotions as well. Would that be fair? Like,
yeah, 100%. Because I thought, like, put down the drink, life would all be easy sailing, like, you know. But you realise you drank for a reason, you know what I mean, in the first place. Like, why did I need to drink the way I drank? You know what I mean? And it was just a sense of you know, not being comfortable with who you are and needing something on the outside of yourself. So some sort of drink or social lubricant to give you confidence, or give you, you know, this easygoingness or numbness or sense of relief from your inner thoughts, your emotion. And then when you put it down, you think, oh, it's going to be all easy sailing, but it's not. It's like there's no smoke without fire, like, you know what I mean. And I suppose for me is my journey when sobriety was still doing that work on myself and realising that I'm still a mess. You know, I went from a drunken mess to a sober mess, but being able to kind of just laugh at yourself and not take yourself too serious, because I think it's an Irish superpower, is to find the sense of humour in the most dire of situations. You know what I mean? That even my family, I came from a big family, you know, with 7 siblings, and our way of bonding and communicating was always ripping the piss out of each other. Like, that's how, you know, someone really loves you, is like they slag you a lot, like, you know what I mean? And I found that being able to kind of look at myself through that lens, not to be able to take myself too serious, not taking life too serious, and always to find the humour. Like, in the greatest response to a crisis is to find a joke in it, first of all, like, you know what I mean? Then go looking for the solution. If you have the ability to laugh at yourself and have a sense of humour, life gets a whole lot easier.
That's beautiful. With the podcast and everything, you've been big into goals. Like, I mean, you had Pat Divley on the podcast, and maybe, I'm sure in the next few weeks you'll have Russell Brand with the vision board and all that. You're big into goals with the podcast. Like, so what and mindset and, you know, law of attraction and everything. Like, how would you describe that affinity towards those you know, tools for improving ourselves?
Like, first of all, Russell Brand's trying to get me on his podcast. No, I'm joking. Yeah, man. See, the things with goals are what I realised. This is gonna sound crazy, but one of the most depressing times of my life I found was after I achieved the goal I was chasing for a long time, because I got this mad anticlimax, because I got really obsessed with the goal, because again I had to I suppose look at my motives for this goal. Why am I trying to do it? And what I found out was I was doing it from a place of low self-esteem. I thought, I got this marathon, I got this really fast 5k PB or whatever it was, that then I'd feel a sense of worthiness and I'd feel good enough. And I didn't know at the time that's why I was doing it, but that's exactly why I was doing it. And you know, and then chased it. And then I remember getting home feeling great, and the buzz and the crack, and then just kind of being like, oh, I still kind of feel the same. And I had to reevaluate why I was doing a lot of these goals, and why was it. I had to learn that as my default state, I am good enough as I am, you know, because I from a very young age developed this really low baseline negative opinion of myself, and I spent then most of my life trying to disprove this opinion of myself. If I become someone, and if I do something, if I achieve someone, then I'll become worthy or likable. You know what I mean? Without realizing you are likable and good enough in your default state. You know what I mean? As exactly as you are. You know. And when I was able to reevaluate that, I started to enjoy running and my goals a lot more. And see, the thing is, like, the goal isn't the important bit. The journey. It's the goal. The goal just motivates you. It's the journey that's the best. Like, if you went on a lad's holiday, a lot of the time the lad's holiday, the best crack is the journey. You probably gone away playing the game matches with the hurling. Remember the crack you used to have on the bus on the way down to playing the away matches. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's the journey that was usually the best bit of it, and that's what I found. When, like, what's worse than getting every goal you want? Sorry, never getting any goal you want. What's worse is that you get every single goal that you want. Imagine I have a genie here and you're like, I want that 5k PB, I want that promotion, I want that girlfriend, I want that car, that bank account, you know, everything. There you go, there you go, there you go. You don't even have to get out of bed. Here, everything you want, you know. And then our purpose and our sense of meaning and our endeavor and our drive is gone. We've no reason to get out of bed. You know what I mean? So it's not about always getting all the goal. Like, it's that whole story. This guy's playing not Russian roulette. What's the one where you pick a number and roulette, isn't it? And
Roulette, yeah.
Yeah, and this guy's playing roulette, and then he said every number he picks that it falls on the thing on the one that he wants, he wins every single time. And when he first starts happening, he goes, "Wow, this is a gift." But then after a while, he realizes it's a curse. You know what I mean? That every time he gets it, like, that sense of drive and excitement is gone. You know what I mean? So, and that can be the same with our goals. Like, if we're getting every goal we want, so it's important to establish that goals aren't the big thing. It's the journey on the way through. And with people, like, you see boxers jumping in that ring, or people in the Olympics going running, you know, you only see the end product. You did not see the whole process of that. You know, you like the boxers, like, you're going for months in the camp to condition to peak at that, for that 3 or 4 day period. You're a month, like, for months and months and months and months. You're on this camp to peak for 3 or 4 days for this fight. You know what I mean? And a lot of people don't see, like, the hard work that goes into the goal. So the most important thing about the goal is, it doesn't matter if you smash it or not, if you get it or not. It was the motivation that goal brought you. It was a sense of purpose, and it was the sense of meaning, and it was the endeavor and the drive that you had. So I think goals are important to drive us on, but it doesn't matter if you achieve it or not. You know what I mean? It's the journey on the way that's the fun bit. You know what I mean? That's the best bit. It's just having them there in the distance. Whether we get them or not, it doesn't really matter. It's what gets us out of bed, what wants us to achieve. Yeah, I want to start my own podcast, Paper Tuesdays, or I want to start Sober Mess. I want to do these things, but we have and if we do them, great. You know what I mean? But it's the fact that we could believe in ourselves to say, yeah, oh yeah, I'm worthy enough to go chase this goal. Oh yeah, I'm good enough to smash this thing. Oh, I do believe in myself enough that I can achieve this. And when you do write it down on paper, man, like, the universe never sets us up to fail. You know what I mean? And I'm a big believer in, like, the law of attraction, you know, and affirming what I want. That if I put in my head what I want, and I'm gonna tell myself I'll get it, I'll get it. I'll keep affirming that, and the universe will deliver that to my doorstep. Be it a run, be it a fucking, you know, be it anything at all. If I keep believing myself enough, man, and manifesting all that goodness into my life, you know, it will come in, like, you know what I mean? So it's about staying positive, staying driven, and and just keep believing in yourself, like, you know.
You've said before about the importance of taking action, and you had a very good podcast as well, kind of linked to how, you know, what drives us, like describing the power of pain. How has pain impelled you to do stuff in your life?
Yeah, but when you're going through pain, it's not nice, you know. It's like that old saying, "This too shall pass." Like sometimes it passes like a kidney stone, but it always passes. And when I look back in my relationship with pain, like, you know, pain was one of the biggest catalysts for motivation in my life. You know, for all the triumphs, the time we went traveling, you know, the time I left my job, I changed the career, started a podcast, got sober, you know, all these big triumphs in my life came from a place of pain. You know, that was the catalyst. You know what I mean? That pain is a big motivator for human beings, and people don't realize that. I don't think people know that how beneficial pain is for us. Like, it is. It's a you know, it's a painful. It can feel like a painful inconvenience, but like if you even look at evolution, you know, evolution, for example, when we were all starting off in Africa, like what motivated us to go exploring? What's up in Antarctica? What's over here? What's over there? It was because we were hungry. It's because we were painful. Because we were so uncomfortable in where we were that we wanted to change. And that was the same with my addictions, man, and my mindset and my mood. Is that I got so, like, when the pain of staying the same gets worse than the fear of change, that's when we change. You know what I mean? And if you can utilize pain to motivate you to change, to go somewhere that you want to go, like, you know what I mean? Pain, like every breakdown and breakup I've ever been through led to a breakthrough. You know what I mean? I had a breakthrough from pain, like, you know what I mean? So being able to utilize, if you're going through hard times, you know, there's something incredible is going to happen. Like, it's going to trudge you on to do something incredible. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if it's like, imagine you go away on holidays and you're walking across the sand, you know why that sand is so hot that you can't just stand on it. It's just going to burn the feet off it. You're either going to run to the sea or you're going to run to the shade. But either way, that pain is so bad that you're going to move. And that's what it's like with emotional pain, that we get somewhere that we're not comfortable with, and it motivates us, and we can use it to utilize it. You know what I mean? We can use it to make us better people, or to motivate us. You know what I mean? And it's such an incredible motivator. Pain can be an incredible motivator, and it's like that thing. It can be a terrible master or a great slave. And it's about how we can utilize it. If we utilize it in the wrong way and let it build up and avoid it and suppress it and not embrace it, you know, eventually that's going to manifest in like panic attacks or depression or anger, or, you know what I mean, or follow us around. But if we can utilize it and say, right, where's this pain coming from? You know, am we connecting to my, like, because our inner morals and inner kind of compasses and inner values are always talking to us. And if we can use this pain, I suppose, to say, right, what am I doing that I shouldn't be doing? And what am I not doing that I should be doing? You know what I mean? And when we can utilize this pain to say, right, what can I do to get out of this? And that, look, pain, man, it's a universal and inevitable part of being a human being. You know, we're just going through the emotional spectrum of being a human. It's the full human experience, like, you know what I mean? And nothing lasts, you know, nothing, everything is in moments. The highs, the lows, you know, the tide comes in, the tide goes out. There's a summer, there's a winter. The hottest summer days and the colder winter nights always pass. You know, Tupac says, through every dark night comes a brighter day, you know. So it's about knowing, number one, how can you utilize this pain to put you in a better position the way you are now, and number two, know that that pain isn't permanent. Know that where you're at in life isn't like a full stop. It's merely just a comment, and it will pass, you know.
Yeah. It's kind of linked to that analogy. I loved it. The strawberry one. Will you tell us that one, Colm? It's like Shanukle. It's like having a smash a Shanakey in the car.
Yeah. Is that the one with the mouse and the lion?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, so the strawberry one, man, is like, it's always looking for stuff to be grateful for, you know. Like, there's there's this mouse getting chased by a lion, and the mouse is, he comes to a cliff edge and he sees the lion behind him and he has to jump. He has no choice, and he jumps and he grabs onto this vine and he's sitting there, just swinging along, and he sees the lion up above, scratching away at the vine, and he's like, oh no, and he looks down, he sees all these crocodiles underneath him, and he's like, here, I'm goose, like, you know what I mean, what am I going to do? And then he looks to the left, and right beside him is this big, massive strawberry, just hanging right beside him on this vine, and, he reaches over, he takes this big bite of it, and he's just lost in the moment, the pure beauty and taste of this strawberry, it's absolutely phenomenal, it's incredible. You know what I mean? Just loves it. So the moral of that is that no matter what's going on, there's always a strawberry in every situation. Like, you know what I mean? To always look for the good, look for the strawberry in every single situation. That's like what we were talking about with always having the sense of humor. There's always find the strawberry. There's always a silver lining. There's always a purpose in everything. You know what I mean? And that if you were to look back to all your painful moments. After you get through that stuff, you'll be looking back at, wow, look at the stuff I done. That was actually, I've learned, like, you learn more from your rock bottoms about you, your character, what you're capable of, than you do hitting them mountaintops. If you were constantly riddled with pleasure and peace and serenity, we probably wouldn't get out of bed. You know what I mean? Imagine if all your needs were always met without you having to do it, and you were always satisfied, your hunger, your thirst, your dopamine hits, your sexual, everything is just catered for. You never need to do anything. We have no reason to get out of bed or socialize or do anything. You know what I mean? But these cravings and pains and emotions are there to keep us going. They're all, if you want to look at it from a primal perspective, an evolutionary perspective, like, everything we do is I suppose for us to function as cavemen. You know what I mean? At one point, that everything's there. That uncomfortable feeling we get, that we don't really like to sit with. That's why it's there. So it motivates us to keep going, and to thrive as a species, But so my thing is always look for stuff to be grateful for. There's always a silver lining in everything. You know what I mean? And if you were to look back at your most painful moments, there's great triumphs that come from them. Like, you know what I mean? And it's just to know that, look, number one, it's not permanent. It will always pass. And number two, there's great stuff going to come from it.
Yeah.
Come here, lads. I'm heading up to Glendalough. The lads are trying to ring me like mad here.
Oh.
It's actually
Enjoy your day.
It's Russell Brand and Joe Rogan. They're saying, here, Colm. Paper Tuesdays, Mall Mondays. That's where I'm at.
Yeah. Cheers for that, Colm.
Cheers, Colm. That was brilliant.
Yeah, thanks, lads.
Enjoy your day.
Good luck. Gurv Mahagut, August Falter Road. Low Daraja. August Paper Tuesdays. It's Mission Mark Halpin. August is Tussin me Hollow Dwyer.
Why?
This is Date Mark. Nice to meet me.
I don't know, you look like
I'm a Quaker.
Yes.
I look very judgmental, don't I?
There's a lot going on
call
there.
Somebody an imbecile. And nobody a bat an eyelid.
Just for the benefit of our fine YouTubers, would you mind standing up, Mark? Just to get the full picture. This is a fine jacket, I have to say.
It is. This is Mix Halpin. He wears this when he's being serious.
Oh. So you're going to leave this on, yeah? Yeah. Oh, right, okay.
Well, we're talking to Colm later, so I want to make a good impression. Not Colm Tyrrell, a different Colm. I look like that the female teacher from Harry Potter. Oh no, the Miss McGonagall.
Oh, right.
Miss McGonagall. Oh, sorry.
We even auditioned, don't we?
Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Flem. I'm Flem the Frog. Now, why should I be on Paper Tuesdays? Well, listen, I'm absolutely gorgeous. All the women love me. And if I was on Paper Tuesdays, everybody in the world would be tuning in, especially all the women, because they're so beautiful. I'm better looking than Leonardo the Cappuccino, so I am. And also, look at Ryan Tuberty doing the Late Late Show. Ryan Tuberty's only a twig. I mean, I auditioned to the Late Late Show and I didn't get in. I don't know why. I don't know why they gave it to the twig. He's absolutely terrible. So please, give me the job. Give me the job interviewing people. Because Mark Halpin and Michael Dwyer are the only legends that are good at podcasting. Everybody else in the world is absolutely terrible at podcasting. So please, that's the reason why I should be on Paper Tuesdays. I can't close my eyes because I got ping pong balls. But anyway.
And that was Flem the Frog. What should we say about that?
Yeah, Flem.
So Flem got in contact with us, looking to come on the podcast, and that was his audition. So please let us know if you have any feedback, if you would like to keep Flem on the podcast.
We have a budget for both, but look, it's either Flem the Frog or Flash Flood. We're not sure. We're weighing up the options. So.
We can only afford one.
I suppose I'll get an old. Actually, sorry, I've just bowled over. Actually, no, we're going to Parish of the week for the moment. Mark, yesterday when I got home, my father said, "A box arrived for you. A man just got out." And Michael Dwyer, you sent me a box of meat. Why did you send me?
Meat Mondays, Mala Mondays. That was an anniversary gift for Paper Tuesdays. Robbie got one too. There was an issue with Robbie's though. I was putting a wardrobe together yesterday and I got a phone call from a man saying, "Robbie, that air code isn't working." And I had no idea what he was talking about. So then I had to get, while I was on the phone to your man, I had to get Orla, Robbie's girlfriend, on the phone to get the proper air code, but she couldn't get it in time. So I just got him to leave it at the petrol station there on the Wells House Road. So she went and got it then, and I think she's given it to Robbie at this stage. I haven't heard back. But yeah, I said
you're so generous. Yeah. Thank you so much.
No vegan options. Only is bacon, but.
Well, there you are.
Yeah.
So this is the sort of weekend we're having here.
Yeah,
All go.
It's all go. I heard someone describe something as melogen yesterday, and it was the best thing I've ever heard. That's absolute melogen.
That reminds me of the word wogus. I like wogus.
Wogus, woeful in Jesus, is it?
No, I don't know. It's a Dublin word. We should have asked Colm.
Yeah, wogus.
Wogus.
Like
yeah. Wow. And prams, Mark. That was the other thing about this random sort.
I should have my hands up this.
So, Mark, we are now fans of Free to a Home. I'm sorry, I'm broken. Free to a good home and gory, Mark. Yeah. So, you tagged me in it as the next person. The woman was looking for a pram to give, and for some reason she asked, "Who's next?" Like in case the first person doesn't take it, and you instantly tagged me, and then the woman replied saying thank you. And then what I couldn't believe then was that I had a friend request from this woman, so I was very close to getting this pram. I was on the list for getting the pram. So, I'll take the meat, but I'm all right for prams at the moment. So
you never know.
You never know. I suppose now that we've dusted off a few of the cobwebs
of housekeeping.
Yeah. We could do Parish of the Week, guys. Bing! And this is we're going all the way to America. And this is about Parish of the Week there, Little Haiti in Miami, because there's a woman there and her name is Durham Mice Maru, I'm sure I'm pronouncing that right, is in charge of the kitchen, and they cook every night. They cook 8 40-pound cases of turkey, chicken, and pork, and they do their best to feed the community. So whatever she gets, she says she gives to people, and she's just doing everything she can. She works as works in a school as a cleaner or something, and then that night she's manning the kitchen, and school janitor is what she works as, and she's making sure that there are now 1,000 meals cooked every week, and it's quite the story. I loved it anyway. So fair play to them.
Fair play. Where is it?
Miami.
Yes. It wasn't an Irish story. I love the story.
Oh no, sorry, apologies.
No, that was me. You probably said that. I just
sure,
busy
look.
admiring myself. Yeah, people. I was thinking about this sort of yesterday. Actually,
All right.
like, there's a lot of people that do really hard jobs, isn't there?
Yeah.
Like, people work in hospitals, nurses, doctors, fucking firemen, police officers. Like, we have, I have it very easy in terms that, like, of the things that I do, I don't have to do a lot of very hard things, but like I see them as hard in my own little fucking bubble, like, you know.
Yeah. The big thing I heard of someone that's going through a tough surgery at the moment, and like the surgeon, like there's so much in their hands.
Crazy,
Yeah.
and it's disgusting as well.
Yeah.
Guts and blood and shit and like, no way could I do that. You have to be a very strong person, don't you? Like,
yeah, you have to be strong for that, but I think you also have to be strong for the other side. Like, imagine if you're skilled in, you know, knowing the brain from the head or whatever, I don't know, and you also have to have the humanity to then say, look, your chances of living here are, you know,
great. Yeah, breaking bad news to people, and you do that every day for your whole life, but someone has to do it as a thing.
Yeah.
You know, they has to be done.
Mm.
And they're definitely not doing it for money, like, either.
Do you think we all have a vocation, or like?
I think so. You have to be a certain type of person to be a doctor, or don't you?
Mm.
What are you asking? Like, are we all born meant to do something, like?
Yeah.
I suppose it takes a certain kind of person to be a nurse or a midwife.
Yeah, very true.
I couldn't do it. I'm definitely not that kind of person. I wouldn't be able to be a nurse.
Really?
No way. Nope.
Okay.
I'm too self-centered. No, I wouldn't be able for it. No way.
And what do you think of the idea? You know, Naval Ravikant has this thing that he's confident that if he was plopped down into a country with no resources or whatever, within 6 months he'd have
be wealthy. I probably would. Yeah, he probably.
But would you?
Would I be wealthy?
Yeah. What would
probably
you do? Like,
not.
Well, you've already proven your resources. I think you've no farming background. You went over to Australia and you milked those goddamn cows.
I did.
Yeah.
No, yeah, resourcefulness is resourcefulness a skill in itself?
Yeah. That's interesting. All right. We've a few good ones here actually. You were actually Naval's Tweetstorm. You were going to talk about that.
Naval's Tweetstorm. Yeah, actually, I might read it out because you've read it before, have you?
Yeah, well, he's had a few, like he's morphing as well. He's doing these Instagram ones that reflect his initial Tweetstorm. It's a brilliant way to get your message across as well, isn't it?
This is the Tweetstorm, the original one, now that sort of turned me on to him, and it was shit, I've lost it. Can you go to Google on your phone there?
Yeah.
I can't get onto Twitter anymore because it's asking me to change my password because of detected unusual activity on my account, and I don't want to use Twitter, so I don't want to restore my account either.
Interesting.
So how to get rich without getting lucky. Yeah, so people might not have read this, so they might be listening and, you know, might be useful for them. So I'll just read out a few of them, probably not all of them because there's a good few. How to get rich without getting lucky. Seek wealth, not money or status. Wealth is having assets that earn while you sleep. Money is how we transfer time and wealth. Status is your place in the social hierarchy. Understand ethical wealth creation is possible. If you secretly despise wealth, it will elude you. Ignore people playing status games. They gain status by attacking people playing wealth creation games. This is my favorite one. You're not going to get rich renting out your time. You must own equity, a piece of a business to gain your financial freedom. Yeah. That actually sounds like a poem in itself, but it's really good advice, and it's one that sort of changed the way I looked at how I make money. Because it's like people think that's for rich people or whatever. It's really not. You can create systems that bring in income that don't actually require work.
Yeah.
They require monitoring. They don't require your time and renting out your time. Because he spoke, I'll get off that for a second. So what he spoke about before I think it was a separate podcast or whatever. So even if you're a doctor, even if you're a nurse, even if you're a high paid engineer, you're only earning for the hours you're in work. So when you retire, you're not earning. When you're in bed, you're not earning. When you're on your lunch break, you're not earning. Whereas if you can create systems and forms of leverage that can bring in income while you while you sleep and while you retire, then you can retire early. You're essentially just bringing in money. You're creating systems and formulas to bring in money instead of renting out your time. Yeah. So if that Naval Tweetstorm, there's loads more tweets in that. I just wanted to put it on this just in case anyone listening to this podcast hadn't come across it before, because I've gone big into his stuff lately again. But that's sort of the foundation of what he's all about, is that tweet thread.
Yeah, at the moment he's big into maths and science. Do you've seen those emails that he's sending out?
The coding ones he's big into.
Right.
Code and stuff. Oh no, I don't have his emails. I don't get the emails.
All right, you better.
I better go on that.
Yeah, absolutely. When you have the time. Do you have internet with this?
No, we don't have internet. I have
you write Naval a letter.
I write him a letter. I'll get my owl.
Oh dear. What else have we got here? Astrology, Mark.
Astrology. I got into astrology during the week.
Oh, really?
I'm a triple Leo.
Oh, so that's
I'm a triple Leo, and apparently it's very rare. And it basically means I'm essentially hugely egotistical. Apparently, I'll write a read. No, I can't because I looked it up, and what I found was that thing that I said to you.
Sorry, you found that? Yeah. It was quite the mouthful. Sorry, Robbie. God wish you. Oh, here it is. Yeah, she's a trip. Oh, yeah. Do you want to take this?
Yes. I have a friend that I kept at arm's length, but only because I've recently learned I've had to. She is a triple Leo, and her sun conjunct with her moon, with a late Leo ascendant.
Oh, Jamie.
She doesn't come across too strong because this conjunction is squarely in her 12th house. However,
which house are you in?
Property ladder. 12th house. However, her sun and moon square Pluto in the 3rd house, a true blue Scorpio Pluto. Moreover, her sun and moon are in conjunct to a Capricorn Mars, in brackets located in the 5th house, of course. She has no air signs in her chart except a Gemini Chiron, with very little focus in the air houses as well, Pluto alone. This is a problem for me because even though I have no air signs, Chiron in a Gemini, I have a strong focus on air sign houses, Saturn/chart ruler in the 11th house, North Code on the 3rd, Sun and Mercury in the 7th house. She and I argue a lot. I constantly feel like she is controlling me, though I can never quite pinpoint it. She mopes a lot, and even me with my stellium of Capricorn planets. How much property does this lady own? Can't take it. I always have to remind her to say goodbye to me, or be considerate of my personal space and not interrupt me. She also puts me down a lot. The weird thing is that she has a Mercury sextile Venus, Cancer and Virgo respectively. You think she wouldn't be reminded to be considerate, or at least polite? I'm not sure what to do. I know I could really dig into her Mercury square Pluto in brackets, whatever that means, and I definitely have sat her down and been really strong with her. Not always easy for me, a 7th house Cancer. Any thoughts on how to tackle this? I want to be friends with her, but I want her to be considerate of me. How does one get through to the strong Leo type?
But what's going on there? There's a friendship, but there's also this obsession driven with looking at the astrology. I wonder how she balances both of those aspects there.
I asked my spiritual guide this, and I was told that this is just somebody who doesn't like her friend and is using astrology as an excuse to bitch about her online.
Ah, interesting. Yeah. So it doesn't matter what house you have, it's about the person.
Yeah, there's no getting through to Leos.
Yeah.
You had that strong Sagittarius energy last week, and I must say, it was overpowering.
Wow, this is brilliant. They say, maybe we mentioned before that, what do you call him? The big lad. Well, he's probably not that big. He's an artist. Picasso.
Oh, yes.
Didn't he say that, you're never meant to repeat what you've done in the past? But, today, Mark, we're not repeating anything.
Hell no.
Hell no.
Fuck it out. Into the skip with the old Mercury is in its new sun.
Huzzah! All right.
Yup, kombucha, bro. Aliens.
Aliens, yeah. What are we going? Are they there? Joe Rogan is getting
apparently.
quite close to them.
He's
It's
on
like
it.
Trees of Manion with the storm. They're there, like, you know. Don't watch out for the fucking
Watch
aliens.
out for the aliens. Joe, no.
Joe, no. Oh,
No,
yeah.
no.
Joe, tell you.
Joe Duffy. Good evening. Welcome to Live Line. Today we have Zoom from Planet Alien. Zoom, come on. Tell us what's happening. Joe Duffy was talking about Go yesterday on the radio.
Go.
You know the Chinese game of Go? It's like chess.
Oh.
It's a Chinese game of chess. Apparently it's the most played board game in the world.
Right.
And there's more possible moves on that chessboard than there are atoms in the universe.
What? Wow. Why was Joe talking about
He wants to get into it.
Do you know what else Joe was talking about this week? I saw this on Twitter. He had this cyclist who was pushed off his bike when he was cycling in the Dublin Mountains.
Bastard. Yeah, no, I heard about this.
You heard?
I was infuriated.
What I love now, this is peak Joe Duffy. So they had him on one day, and then the next day they had managed to find Snapchat footage of the car, the young people in the car pushing him over. So then they could get the reaction of the cyclist seeing him fall over. It was a spectacular fall.
They posted it online themselves.
Yeah,
They're
yeah,
fucking
they did.
idiots. Jesus Christ, I was stupid.
How many stances do you have here?
This is fun.
This is disappointment.
Yeah, this is disappointment.
What about what? And then what is this? Just
This
elegance,
is, yeah, this is intelligence.
intelligence, yeah.
Yeah.
Sophistication,
Decorum.
decor.
There was a big that house is on houses on backwards. My 11th house. There was a big. This is my detective hat now. There was a big house on fire down the road last night, or the night before last.
Yeah.
There actually was, and they're looking for the people now, and I'm gonna fucking get you. Apparently, there were 3 youths seen walking away from the scene of the house. Youths.
Yeah, whenever they're young people are doing something bad, they're youths.
Yeah, youths are bastards.
Yeah.
Except Wexford youths. Right, we actually have Mick Wallace on the podcast next week.
I thought it was Daniel O'Donnell next.
Oh yeah, DOD. You shared something from him last night.
Yeah, did you watch the
I
video?
didn't get to watch it because I wasn't able to play sound at the time, but I may.
You may, or even.
I didn't know Natural Sorts were still going. Natural
Oh, if
Shorts.
anything, he's leaning into this pandemic and he's getting better with the video and everything. Like, oh, it's very good. It's if he did what's that sim shit, or you did it on the counter. It wasn't me.
Oh, it wasn't me. Yeah. But
Yeah,
Shaggy,
but he did it. It wasn't me, so it wasn't. It's very.
So it wasn't.
So it
I
wasn't.
love that.
Yeah. Of its time, Mark. This is just a random one. This is a good time actually because it feels like you're coming from a different century now. So I was talking with Ashton's girlfriend's family, and we were talking about the ban. You know, the ban with the GA when you couldn't play any other sports, just GA. So they were asking me my opinion. I kind of said, sure, look, it was of its time, sure. And then I thought, well, Michael, if you approach that to everything in history and you say it's of its time, I don't think that's right or fair. So where's the line between judgment and, because you can't say the Holocaust because it wasn't of its time. So where's the line between the GA with a real stubborn regret, lack of forgive, you know, with a hurt that's how I describe anyway, put the ban on other sports because, you know, all those other sports weren't mean to us and we need our sports. Versus, you know, like where do we draw this? Because I'm definitely not going to try and avoid this of its time analogy because it could get you out of absolutely anything.
Yeah, it is a cop out, isn't it? Of its time. But sure, like the GA is very strange, isn't it? Like, I don't think any organization has as much of a hold on its culture in a country as GA has here. You know, like the NFL, and then there's also the NBA, but they don't have any political power. Do you know what I mean? The GA is strange in that way.
Yeah.
It's more than a sport, isn't it?
Oh, certainly. You have to admit. Anyway, for us, anyway. But yeah, but like, is it mad how different it is as well? You know, like here it's just part of life or whatever. You know, you can play Junior B if you want. In Dublin, like, you know, I think there are waiting lists to get into some GA clubs.
Really?
You know, yeah.
Wow.
So it's bad.
Shout out to Carl Hayes, who has just had his cold shower.
Namaste, Colm.
Namaste, Colm. Have a good weekend.
Actually, this is a good time. You know the way I kind of always bash TikTok, for example. Well, I was on TikTok last night, and one of the first things that came up was a live feed coming from Today FM's presenter, and she had live comments coming in, and she just had her phone there, and she was playing the music, and people got a sense of joy and connection from it. And not only that, but she was trying to get people to follow her to reach 60,000 follows, and she got there. And I was blown away by the comments box, Mark, because they were all coming in saying, oh, you got there, well done. And it was a side of social media that I wouldn't have really thought before, that these people, you know, were just delighted for her, and they were happy to, you know, watch her do the radio thing. Even though I would have thought that was kind of gone, you know, like texting into radio stations has been fading in the last few years. But if we can see the person do the music stuff, then we might like watching it.
Yeah. Radio, it's weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
The radio thing, that it hasn't really died. Do you know, it's managed to stay somewhat alive, maybe because the older generation are still out driving cars and stuff. But would you listen to the radio at home now if you were sitting down?
No, definitely not.
No.
I can think of many other things to do.
Yeah. I only listen to the radio because I'm not allowed to change the channel in the van. I listen to fucking Pat Top in the van. Oh, he is the worst.
Here, let's jazz it up and take a newspaper article. This one, I'm loving this story. Comes from the Meath. What was that?
I'm a little boy. I look like Mary Poppins. I like this. The new me. Mercury is in its new moon.
I can't imagine that's nice.
No, it's not. I hurt my teeth when I done that. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
The show goes on.
the show goes on. Mark, the headline from the Meath Chronicle. A holistic practitioner is calling on the River Boyne to be given same legal status as a human being.
Ah! Well, Michael, you have to look at it from this perspective. I actually can't. I was trying to find her perspective there. How can the fucking river be a person?
This is coming from Magella Fagan of Dano of Green Tara. It's a college for holistic and spiritual studies. So she says that a New Zealand river was recently granted the same legal rights as a human being as called for by a Maori tribe that saw the river as an ancestor. And Magella believes that the Boyne should follow suit.
What? Why? Like, why? What is the fucking rights of a person getting married? Like, get a mortgage? Does the river take out a mortgage? Like, what?
River should have a vote.
River should have a vote.
River should be able to use. I don't know.
They should not be moved against their own will. Don't move.
I'm surprised you're retaining your own name with this person.
Yeah. Oh, I need a new name, don't I?
Yeah. Peter.
Peter.
No.
What will I be? Reginald.
That's fair, Reg. Yeah.
Reginald Philosophy. No. Reginald Pancake. That's Detective Reginald Pancake.
Oh, so Mr. Pancake, what do you make of the story?
It's fucking bollocks. Like, why does a river need to be given? Like, right, okay, fair enough. We need to stop dumping in rivers. Stop.
Yeah.
Stop weeing in them, even if it's a nice day outside.
All right.
Use the ditch.
These are big moves.
But it doesn't need human status. Right. We don't need to be doing this. Don't need to be doing this, lads. Just take a deep breath. Take a step back. That's a river. You're a person. Treat the river like you are supposed to treat rivers. Not like you're supposed to treat your wife.
Okay, Mr. Pancake, how should one treat their wife?
Oh, well, buy her tins of roses on her birthday.
Oh.
you go to her family's anniversary masses.
Okay. Yeah, don't forget about the dates. It's the family anniversaries.
That's it.
Why didn't we have Mr. Pancake on with Callie-Ann Brennan last week? Mark, more news. Or sorry, excuse me, Mr. Pancake. More news, Mr. Pancake. There's an ancient untouched tomb discovered on the Dingle Peninsula.
Wow.
When we can go across the country, I'm going there. This sounds great. So, like, this tomb, it's apparently it's extremely rare. A farmer discovered this tomb, and they think it might be from the Bronze Age. They're carrying out investigations. They're not revealing the location, but they think the tomb may date to the Bronze Age. That's 2000 BC to 500 BC, and it contains a number of highly unusual features. See, as well as that, I have a book there at home about the cosmos, and they're interested in the shape and the orientation. It's the whole thing of figuring out, were they facing these tombs in a certain way because of the connection with space.
Right.
So I thought this story is fascinating. I mean, extremely rare, and now they've just discovered it on private land. Imagine being the farmer, just going about the business, and bang, you found a grave.
Yeah. How old did they reckon it was?
It could be at least 500 BC.
Holy shit. 500 BC.
Imagine that person as well, like everyone else. Well, I suppose it's no different to being in a graveyard, I suppose.
No.
Only he just didn't know he was there. Like, no one knew he was there.
And there's graves, there's bodies, is there? Or
There's
remains?
one, yeah, there probably I'd say you're looking at a small number of bodies.
What do you reckon they look like?
Bones, I'd say.
Bones, yeah, probably famine times, sure. Or when was the famine? No, it wasn't. That was the famine came later. Detective.
Mr. Pancake.
Mr. Pancake. We don't talk about the famine on this podcast.
Put your hands back where they should be. There,
Yeah.
that's all.
So, congratulations to the man.
In other news there, Kerry, this Dingle Peninsula, that's where we're going. Anyway, now we're going to the sun, because Kerry TD Michael T. Ray has likened himself to the mad Russian mystic Rasputin. Have you ever heard of Rasputin?
Oh, I've heard the name.
Yeah, there he is.
Yeah.
Man.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Wow.
I normally only show the faces of one Liam Dunn, but now you're getting Rasputin.
Tough
today,
looking
guys.
man.
Yeah.
That has never been to Santa Ponza.
So he says he's been on Laughs of Your Life podcast with Dura Garrahy, and he's escaped death on many occasions: a car accident, a shop fire, a forestry mishap, a bad run-in with a cow. Bad run-in with a cow. But he said he has a few things basically he's just survived a lot. He nearly choked on something when he was rushing his dinner once. He had a run-in with Woody Allen, and he had to say to Mr. Allen, "Hello, Mr. Allen, you're very welcome. I'm very sorry about this, but I have a gamete egg, and that's why I'm trying to hold on to you. I'm not trying to kiss you or anything like that."
Woody Allen's been in trouble for his kissing lately, hasn't he?
Oh, has he?
Oh, do you not know about Woody Allen? I know all about Woody Allen. Woody Allen adopted 2 children from Asia.
Oh, right.
And married one of them.
Oh. Interesting.
Well, yeah, he got them when they were children, and then when they were old enough to be a child anyway, he said, sure, I might as well just have a wife out now.
Sure.
Why not?
Okay.
That's called grooming.
Put your hands back where they're meant to be. Yeah.
That's called grooming.
There's something about that.
Where's
of course,
house,
the whoop strap is still on, Mr. Pancake, you know?
I have to be looking after my heart rate variability.
Yeah. And just to be clear, guys, he is wearing a shirt underneath this.
I am, yeah.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah. Oh.
I have an anniversary mass to attend now. Myself and Penny Pancake. I'm actually a character in Cluedo as well.
What's your instrument of choice?
Instrument of choice is the camera.
Is that?
can hit someone with a camera.
Oh,
What would be your instrument of choice?
to kill someone.
Clipboard.
Maybe.
Sausages from... It was Michael with white pudding.
Oh, Jenny.
Flooded you was a black pudding. Big fan of black pudding.
Really?
I'm sure he had a flash flood about black puddings one day. Didn't
Oh,
he?
yeah,
Couldn't
he
find
did
any.
too. Yeah. Remember that. That's a good memory.
Where would a detective find the outhouse around here, Mr. Brown? Pressing matters. After intent.
Oh, where were we? That was
I look like Bishop Brennan, Father Ted, when he had a big
Yeah,
head like
yeah,
this,
yeah.
like that. Yeah, have we another TTP, Michael? Or are we all
Ah, sure. I suppose we'll take another TTP. Will we? Culture is to human beings what water is to fish. Now that was a great one. I think I was either Lean Leslie or it might have been Lean Leslie. But it was a very good one. I like that.
Culture.
Yeah, and the fact that it be invisible but it's present.
Ah, yeah, I get it. It's all around us. Yes, we can't actually like touch it like a fish can't poke water. Very interesting. It's interesting to see different cultures as well. Do you know?
Yeah.
As I say, like that's what Colm, who hasn't come on yet, but when we do talk to him, I'm sure he'll talk about he went traveling somewhere.
Yeah, with Asia.
Yeah, I'm sure he found the culture difference there. And that might
yeah. Monks is I think I look forward to going their places. Anyway.
Yeah, it'd be nice
even
to
for a
get...
few weeks or whatever.
Yeah. Asia would be cool, wouldn't it?
Yes,
Yeah.
it would. I think you'd want to cooler attire.
I think so. I'd probably get like a waterproof one for the swim pool of these.
What does Penny Pancake wear?
Oh, not much.
We pick a page back to 1 and 288.
We'd have to go for a chair, won't we? 68.
Okay. I'd like Mr. Pancake to read this.
There's the blood. That's the blood I was talking about.
About blood being in the book.
Yeah.
There it is. He picked the bloody page. It's Mr. Pancake.
Not a detective for nothing.
Oh, Mr. Pancake, anything.
Oh, okay. So this is actually the beginning of a chapter 7, The Silver Lining, and there's a quote at the top of it. So I'd read that.
Please.
Youth will come here and beat on my door and force its way in. Henrik Ibsen. I don't understand that. We'll pick a different one. But Cork's Thomas Mulcahy, one of the game's superstars, came over straight away and congratulated me. I wasn't on magic mushrooms after all. I had actually won an All-Ireland.
Oh.
No.
The Euphoria.
Or no, not an All-Star, sorry.
Oh,
That's
star.
what I said, yeah,
All right.
an All-Star.
Okay.
Would you rather magic mushrooms or an All-Star, Michael?
That's a great question. Well, first of all, what are magic mushrooms? Sorry, I know we have to pare this back a little. Like, you're going to be hallucinating with them. Is that fair?
Mhm.
So, but are you going to experience reality? Are you going to? And when I say reality, it doesn't mean like, I don't know, the newspapers. What do you think you'd experience with magic mushrooms?
Religious experiences have been documented with
right.
them, is what apparently what you get. So I wonder, is a religious experience more? Would you get more religious experience from getting an All-Star or magic mushrooms?
Ooh, brilliant. Now you have me with the All-Star. Yeah, yeah, that's a beautiful analogy. Thank you, Mr. Pancake.
No, you.
I think we've done it.
We're done. We're done for the day now. Let's go and gone. I have to find them young lads who burned down that house.
Just a final note for you. We are going to start a little thing on our Patreon with Mr. James Flood. Do you want to describe what it is while I try and find it, Fast Food?
Yes, we're starting a high performance podcast about high achievers in life in general, I suppose. Pitched by James. So if you would like to listen to that, go on to Patreon, sign up, and yeah, listen in. It'll be good. It should be interesting, good crack. James been doing a lot of reading lately on high performance, particularly within sport. Me and Michael are high performers.
That's right, Mr. Pancake.
in both the detective world and dress up. No, it's not. Yeah, give it a go.
Yeah.
Sign up, Patreon.
Brilliant.
Right, fellas, the time has come. I think we need to get a smart person.
Oh, we've done that one.
Far and few between smart people.
Now, listen here. I have a question, and it's going to have to be answered by the fashion magnates and conglomerates, and that fella that was so good at fashion at that shop. Where are the rest of men's trousers gone? You cannot get full-length men's trousers. They all seem to be these 3/4 length ankles out shite. Two Johnnies have lots to answer for there. Whatever happened to full-length men's trousers? Going around like God knows what, Gok 1. Everyone thinks they're Gok 1 now with their 3/4 length trousers. Get proper pair of fucking trousers. Where are they? Where's the men's trousers gone? Where's the rest of them gone? Who has them? Are they being held hostage somewhere? Where's the trousers?
Where are the trousers? I'm on it, James.
What I loved about that one is he definitely looked at his phone and saw 30 seconds. I have to do 15 seconds more. Where are
Fit in 15 seconds. You wouldn't be getting the ankles out much now, Michael.
No, I don't know what he's talking about, to be honest. Like,
you know,
everyone just gets
jeans
trousers.
Sort of come to there, like.
No, I never
the
copped
skinny
that
jeans.
down, to be
Yeah,
honest.
someone gave out to me once having my ankles out and I didn't realise I did.
Yeah.
I felt exposed afterwards. I was absolute slut.
And that's why now you only wear the jacket, Mr. Pankins.
Well, as John Denver says, don't criticise what you don't understand. The times, they are changing. I think that was Bob Dylan, was it? Not John Denver. Yeah. John Denver was Country Roads. Country Roads. Play us out, Michael!
Do the place.
West Virginia.
Mountain Mama, take me home. Country roads. Na, na, na.
Hey, hey!
Na, na, na. Hey, hey! Na, na, na.
Hey, hey! Na, na, na.
West Virginia,
Mountain Mama, take me home.
Good night.